Today, we're going to talk about fiddleheads, the OG free food of New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Quebec, and parts of Maine. I'm not sure for how much further it goes into the States, but I do know that those areas definitely have fiddleheads. Now, fiddleheads were so common and so commonly used for food that they didn't even show up in cookbooks until the 1950s. Let's take a look at this little plant. This is a fern. It grows in the woods here, wild in New Brunswick, in marshy areas and wet spots. So you kind of have to have some rubber boots and trudge through some muck to get to these. But they're one of the first foods in the spring. And I can bet in the 1800s and earlier, it was a delightful treat to have these fresh in the spring after a long, hard winter of your preserved food. So let's take a look at the fiddlehead. It has an iconic shape, and you can see this all over New Brunswick and the Maritimes. And the fern comes out of the ground like this. And let's unroll this one and look at it. So there are lots of ferns. You cannot eat them all. You can eat this one, do not eat the others. And if you're going to forage for these, make sure you take somebody who knows what they're looking for, because you do not want to get sick. So they just unroll. We don't unroll them to cook them. I'm just kind of unrolling it to show you what it looks like inside. And you can see the baby fern leaves. So this would grow into a huge, gigantic fern, and the ones that aren't picked will do that. And then they will, create more ferns next year. So we aren't going to use this one. Before you cook ferns, though, you need to clean them up, because they do grow in not really a toxic environment, but an environment with a lot of microbes and a lot of bacteria. So you're going to want to cut off any dark ends and any spoiled bits. These two we're not going to eat because I didn't finish cleaning them. And they also have like a little papery outside that you need to get off too before you cook them. So we'll set these aside, and I have already prepped these. So to cook fiddleheads, you are going to wash them several times in water until the water is running clear and there's no bits of stuff coming off them. You can see I've trimmed all the gucky parts off of these, and they're nice and clean. Because they grow in bacteria and microbial areas, we are going to boil them in salted water for 15 minutes. I'm just going to dump these right in. Put my lid on so it comes back up to a boil. Oh, let's put those in our Scrappy rubble bowl, because they can go in the compost. And once that comes to a boil, I'm going to turn our timer to 15 minutes. So you can see them starting in there. Once 15 minutes is up, we will come back and I'll show you the remainder of the cooking process, because this is still not ready to eat once you boil it. This is just sort of the sterilizing it and making sure that it's okay. And because these are such a woody, thick plant, they can withstand this cooking process. All right, I will catch you in 15 minutes. All right, so we've got 5 minutes left, and while we're waiting, I'm going to chop up some garlic, because we're going to, we're going to fry our fiddleheads in garlic and butter, and then just a little sprinkle of salt and a little tiny bit of white wine vinegar. So let's do our chopping now. It's always a good idea to prep ahead of time, right? So I'm just going to use 1 clove of garlic. And I'm going to chop it up fine. So when I was a young girl, I actually have memories of foraging for fiddleheads with my mom and dad. I haven't done it for decades at this point, and I would not trust myself to be able to go into the woods and find these and get the safe right ones at this point. But you can buy them in the grocery stores here. So while it can be a free food, I did pay for these. I think next year what I'm going to do is get on the ball early and take you guys out and show you how to forage fiddleheads. We'll find somebody who can take us, who knows a good spot and knows how to identify them safely. Give me a comment down below if you want to do that. Go on a foraging adventure. Maybe we should do more of those. I love foraged foods. And let's be honest with ourselves, a lot of foods that we eat today started as foods that were just foraged, and they became so popular that they were commercialized. All right, I'm just gonna set my garlic aside, and we must be almost ready time-wise. Just a couple of minutes. It's been so long, I'm not even sure I remember what fiddleheads taste like. Isn't that terrible? It's a shame when traditional foods kind of get lost. And it's one of the reasons that I was encouraged by myself to make this, this channel and kind of look at food preservation and the ways that we used to make food and food traditions that I don't want to get lost. And especially those family recipes that are passed down from, you know, grandma to mom to granddaughter. I want yours. If you have recipes, you can send them to me right here and I will get back to you, and I'll tag you if you want me to when I put it on the air, and I'll let you know. I would love to share your recipes, so feel free to send them to me. I can hear our clock ticking down. Woo, there we go. 15 minutes is up, and we can turn our water off. Set that behind. And we cannot use this water, so we are going to take our fiddleheads out of the water that they've been boiling in. You can see it's kind of gross looking anyway. Okay, let's throw our frying pan on there now. And now you can see how much lighter the fiddleheads are. The water has kind of blanched them a bit. They've lost that dark, dark green glossy, and they've taken on this nice spring green color. We're going to put our frying pan on to medium and add some butter. And we're just going to fry these up with butter and garlic. About a good amount of butter. And our garlic, which we chopped. They kind of heat up. I think that looks good. We're going to add our fiddleheads. So in the spring, what you would have done is gone and foraged a whole bunch of fiddleheads. You would have had your fill while they were fresh, and the remainder you would have canned. And then you would have had some green throughout the winter and a little bit of nutritious variety in your preserved meals. There's all kinds of ways that you can cook fiddleheads and all kinds of things you can do with them. Oops. Did this go out? Nope. Oh, I turned it the wrong way. No wonder it wasn't getting hot. All right, let's get that to a simmer. I'm just going to rotate these around. I probably should have used a slightly bigger pan, but this is what we got, and we're going to go with it. I'm actually really excited to take you guys out to find some more fiddleheads next spring. We're at the tail end of the season now where I would do it now, but it's a little too late this year. Next year, I'm going to get on that, and we are going to go find our own fiddleheads, and maybe we'll make something completely different. Maybe a fiddlehead soup, or I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research. I'm just going to add a little bit more butter. There we go. So we're just going to continue to fry these for 4 to 5 minutes until they are tender and golden looking. Oh, these are frying up nicely. I think we're done. Let's get all of that juicy butter and garlic on there. I know there's lots of butter on here, but I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of fresh butter because fried butter and fresh butter have a different flavor profile. And now we're going to add just a little tiny splash of white wine vinegar. You could use any kind of vinegar. I chose white wine vinegar because it's white and it won't show on my beautiful green fiddleheads. You could also use balsamic if you wanted to, or apple cider vinegar. Malt vinegar would be a good choice as well, but I didn't have that, so just a teeny sprinkle. And the vinegar is just going to brighten the flavor. You don't have to add it. It's something my dad did, so I guess that's why I do it. It's kind of those things where you do what you grew up doing, right? So let's pick a nice one here. It's soft now and pliable, a little unraveled. Oops, it's going to be harder to eat that way. Let's grab a different one. Taste this. It kind of has an asparagus flavor. It's fresh, it's delicious. Not 100% asparagus, but a very light asparagus flavor. It is very good, and it does pair well with salmon and trout and fish and really every food. So if you are lucky enough to live in an area where you can get fiddleheads, I encourage you to try them. Make sure you clean them properly, at least 3 washes. I did 5 to 6 on mine to get all the stuff off, and then boil for 15 minutes. And then you're gonna saute again for 4 to 5 minutes until they're golden brown and cooked through. Well, here is to being scrappy, finding your own food, and enjoying the pleasures that life has to offer you. I'll catch you next time. Bye.